This episode of the Leap Forward podcast is brought to you by Bridge LT, leaders in conversational learning and innovation. Through AI role plays, technical simulators, and comprehensive training programs, Bridge LT is revolutionizing the future of corporate and enterprise education.
In this episode, Victor Valentin, VP of Sales and Customer Experience, reflects on his shift from engineering to leading sales across 43 markets in Latin America and the Caribbean. He explores customer focus, data-driven strategies, and modern training methods like AI and micro-learning. Victor also breaks down market challenges like EV adoption and shifting consumer demands, sharing practical lessons on leadership and growth in a changing industry. So I'm absolutely delighted to welcome today Victor Valentin, who is the Vice President of Sales, Customer Experience and Channel Development at Kia in Central and South America and the Caribbean. Welcome, Victor.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you for having me and giving this opportunity to share a topic that we like.
I've been looking forward to this conversation for a long time. So let's kick things off with you giving me a little bit of a kind of career journey today. How did you get to where you are today?
It's. I mean, I'm a mechanical engineer, so I went to college for that. And like all my life, I thought I was going to be working either in manufacturing or in electrical plants back home in Puerto Rico. But well, God has His ways, and I started in the automotive industry with Mitsubishi. At that time, I started as a field engineer. But then 6 months after I started, there was this training position open. And before giving it to me, they offered to senior engineers, and nobody wanted. Nobody wanted to be in training. And I thought, well, this is a good opportunity for me to continue learning, continue developing. So I took the challenge. So 1998, that was the first time that I started as a training manager. And it's been a beautiful journey. So from there, I continued working I was Hyundai, Puerto Rico. That's where I met the Koreans. And then in 2003, I got a phone call from Hyundai to move to Miami and take care of their training center here in Miami for Central and South America. So I worked there I started as a training manager for 16 years. I evolved in different positions. I took over service and CX eventually. And then 2019, they moved that office to Brazil. And I was blessed to be transferred to Kia. So it's been 5 years now here in Kia. When I started here, I started as a head of CX training. And And then last year, what was it, 2023, May of 2023, I got another opportunity to become vice president for including sales, CX. And under CX, we have training, service, warranty, and all these areas, plus channel, which is in other, we'll call it as a dealer development. So that's so far my career. I mean, I've been working in the automotive industry since I graduated, and training it's a big passion of mine. I really love training, even though I'm not doing as much as I love these days. But it's a passion career.
Thank you so much. It's such an interesting career, starting out as an engineer and then moving all the way through these enormous organizations and such responsibility now. And let me ask you about the world of sales and the world of CX and channel development. How do they all fit together?
Yeah, it is interesting. Here in what something that I love about Kia and our brand is that definitely we are a sales company. We manufacture vehicles for selling. But our CEO mindset is that we have to be customer centric. We need to focus on our customer. So the opportunity that I have with sales, CX, and channel is that we see the whole customer journey. We see from awareness when our marketing team is making sure the customer understands what we're offering, Then the whole sales process when they go to the dealer and experience our vehicles, how our sales consultant make sure that understand their needs and they translate what we offer to fulfill their needs, how we make that environment with the channel team to make sure that the facilities accommodate for the best experience of our customers. And then we go to the ownership side. We go when they buy the car, how we take care of it for them in service. So now like I see the whole journey of the customer and how we work towards that journey. Again, having that customer centric mindset that our company promotes.
And I suppose in a sense that the relationship with the dealers, they are in a way customers as well.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, our distributors in Latin America, which we manage 43 countries out of this office. More than customers, they're our partners. They're the one that are representing our brand in each of our countries. So we make sure that we have a relationship with them, not only to understand what it is that we bring, our policies and procedures, and how we want them to continue to reinforce the customer experience, but to take that and be brand ambassadors and make sure that they take that message to our customers. So yes, they are our customer because we care for the distributors, but most important is a partnership, and definitely all the way from our CEO, he's very interested of our end customer, the one that is driving our car. So we are not just manufacturing and distributing cars to a country that they do whatever they want. We really listen all the way back to the end customer that is driving the cars.
That's fascinating. And I think I heard you right. You said 43. Is that right? 43 markets?
Yeah,
Wow.
we right now we have 43 countries, all Caribbean, Central America, and South America.
So bring that to life for me. Tell me kind of a little bit about those markets, bring them to life.
Yeah, it is interesting and challenging. Every country have their own reality. I have markets where we're selling more than 30,000 cars a year, and I have markets in the Caribbean that I can be selling maybe 10, 20 cars a year. So we have the whole spectrum, how to manage them. Not only that, the cultures, the language, we have Spanish, English, French, Portuguese in our region. So how we cope to continue to communicate and make sure that my team here, which as of today we're uh, 90% of the team is all local teams. We have just a portion that are our coordinators that come from Korea to support. So they understand very well the culture. Most of them are Hispanic or from the Caribbean. So we all understand and we can relate to everybody. But it's a well diverse environment. Very interesting. Yeah, there's things that we share common as Hispanic or for Latin America, but but still we there's uniqueness in each country. There's something that we had to make sure, and that's why later we'll talk more about training, how we're working with them to make sure that we make sure that the training is personalized for that person, for that sales consultant or service advisor that we're caring for.
Fascinating. And you talk about the sort of the differences and the commonalities, I suppose. Give me a couple of examples of that.
Yeah, it common again is Hispanics. We're very open people, and they we have the relationship or the emotional IQ is very high on us. So the way we communicate or we approach our customers probably is different from Middle East or other regions. Uh, Now differences, yeah, we can go there not only about the economics, education level. Not every country is in the same level, so we need to make sure that we adjust how we share the material and how we communicate for the specific audience. But something that is very common in our region, which I really love, is resilience. It's everybody's always trying to look for a solution and how to solve a problem or make sure that they achieve what they want. with what they have, with the resources that they have. And that's something that is very unique in our region.
It is unique, and I guess it sort of, we'll talk more about the training, the development, and the sort of the culture that you like to kind of instill. I think, which is was critical, and obviously, if you build in that resilient sort of culture from the beginning, and you have that resilient mindset, then that's a really key piece of learning, and that obviously is paying dividends for you. Um, around that sort of, how do you, with all of those distributors and those markets, how do you like to kind of set them up for success? Obviously, you talk about the sort of the 90% sort of local kind of side of things, but what are the other principles that you like to kind of employ to set them up for success?
Yeah. Again, we following the values of our brand. In Kia, one of them is the customer centric, but we have five values that the company promotes. The first one is care for people. So we make sure that our staff, and when we talk about care for people, we're talking about employees and also customers. But when talking about staff, is make sure that they have the resources and the available information to make sure that they can continue working. Then after that, we have there to push boundaries. So we already provide them with the information, we provide with the resources. So now we empower them. Okay, now is the opportunity to continue developing. And then through this journey, at the end is continue to chase excellence. So just to make sure that, okay, we already achieve. Now we need to continue for improvement and go on. So there is a lot that we do here. We have our KPIs, that we have our goals and measurement that allow us to make sure that we are on the right track. So at the beginning of the year, we establish, okay, our end goal will be, I don't know, 140,000 cars a year. Uh, and we start doing our plan, and we see this like maybe like a flight plan in our airplane. You say, I'm gonna go from LA to New York. So you set your route. So your end goal is New York, and you have your route, but during the route you find clouds or problems or whatever, and you need to adjust. So we continue adjusting our flight plan, but the end goal is there. We need to get to New York. We need to sell 142,000 cars. So how we get there could be adjusted with the tools that we have and the opportunities that we see along the year, or the challenges that we get, but the end goal is there, and everybody's clear on that. That's where we want to get. The strategy or the action plan, how to achieve, it could be adjusted during the year based on what is happening. So that flexibility is a very important for us, because allow us to be agile to respond to whatever is happening in our market, or the situation where we are.
And I can imagine that's also very empowering for your people. You talked about their metrics and measures, and I love this idea as well. I have to say, of the destination, because that's what really matters, right? And lo and behold, I'll use a car analogy here, but the sat nav says there is an alternative route here, Victor. So we're in that position to be able to perhaps kind of take a detour or whatever it is, but we're still going to get there, which is critical. But tell me a little bit about some of the other measures and metrics that you like to kind of use, perhaps around sort of CX or around channel development, because clearly sales is, perhaps I may be wrong here, but sales is a pretty binary thing. As you said, you've got to sell 140,000 vehicles this year. But tell me a little bit
Yeah,
about some of the other metrics you use.
yeah, it is true. Sales is like the big focus KPI that we have. But then under it, as you mentioned, we have different measurements. So in terms of channel, what we establish our goal is improvement of facilities. So we're going, maybe as Kia in 2022, 2021, we relaunched our brand. We completely changed our logo, our colors, but more than that, we changed our whole culture. It's a big change that our CEO, Mr. Son, did, which is it was a big risk, but with very high reward. We have further developed our brand and our staff and our environment. Now in China, what we're doing is we're completely changing the facility. So So what are our metrics is, okay, how many of our stores are growing, how many stores are completely changing, how many of our stores are compliant with our new standards, not only in color, facilities, and SI, but also on what we require them in preparation for EV vehicles, which is very important for us. And then CX, voice of customers is key for us. So as I mentioned, since we're a customer centric company, yes, we listen to our distributors, of course, because they're our partners, but we here at Kia CSA in Miami and in Korea, we listen to the end customer. So our surveys that we have established, where we have the metric of NPS or overall satisfaction, are very important for us. So we are monthly tracking and making sure that we proactively act to what the customer is saying or doing a feedback for us. So NPS is maybe the number one KPI for our CX area, and then from there, every team will be communicating and understanding the feedback of the customer is that, hey, I like the cars, but they were not able to explain properly. Then my training manager should be able to understand, okay, why is a sales consultant not presenting the car properly? Is it because he needs more information of the car, or he needs any tools? Maybe training is not always the final answer. So they do together training, CX, and the analysis and understanding of what the customer is saying.
That's absolutely fascinating, and you're doing a great job of linking all of these things up, which I love. And I think we're going to come to your real passion of being a big fan of lifelong learning in a minute. I think. So don't worry. But I think sort of taking us kind of towards that journey, I suppose, in a sense. Give me some of the examples where you've run this kind of customer centricity kind of process, and as you said, you've pulled out some really valuable insight. How do you then put that into kind of action?
Yeah. So it's again, the the CX team is the one that captures the customer data and customer feedback. So one sample I can give you is, one time we have during the pandemic, one of the main issues that most of the automotive OEM had was lack of production and difficulty to have vehicles. So we were starting to listen in our customer that there was a big delay on delivery of the cars. Okay, so the CS team started to communicate. Okay, customers are saying that they don't know where the vehicle is coming, or it's taking too long for them to understand. So my channel team started to communicate to see, okay, what can we do in the process to do this. So we developed certain tools to make sure that the customer can see from manufacturing, shipping, arriving to the country, and when the car is available. So that he was able through the app to see the whole process. So we solved that part with technology. But still, they were saying, okay, I have the technology, but still no one is talking to me. So then my training team, they started to communicate with the sales consultant. How can we not only follow up, but communicate properly to the customer where the car is, what is happening with the vehicle, why you need to follow up to the customer, and so on. So, so we had this again complaint or feedback from customer that cars are taking long, and sometimes the customer they didn't understand what globally is happening with the manufacturing. They just understandable. I already ordered my car, or I pay for it. Why it's not here? Um, but then we have the communication with the sales consultant, what is happening, how we're working with it, and along with the technology allows to make sure that communicate that, and many other things. Again, how we taking from these surveys that the customers are saying it's for us, or through social media when they publish something.
Really interesting. And it's hard for anyone, I think, in the world to not recognize the transformation that has gone on at Kia. It's really incredible to kind of see from the outside, how the brand has evolved, and just huge respect and admiration, for that shift. And Obviously, that's been going on in a very dynamic market. You've been challenging, as a brand for some time, but the market itself is challenging, right? Whether it's kind of EVs, whether it's supply chain, new kind of kind of new entrants to the market, very dynamic market in terms of economic kind of headwinds and so forth. Tell me a little bit about sort of how you have really instituted and enabled that change in the business.
Yeah, again, everything comes from our top, no, our top management. They truly believe the change that we had to do. So again, the transformation in Kia it was not only colors or a logo; it was a whole culture change in our company, in our way of working, and how people came to be centric to it. And this we have this challenge like everybody's having in terms of logistics. Nowadays in Latin America, the competition is very strong, especially coming from China. You know how they're growing and growing our market, and it's one more player, very strong player in our market that we are competing against with. Um, but I think the way that we have been able to continue to achieve is having the right people in the right place in our company. So we have a strong team here in our office in Miami that they're all engaged and committed to our goal, which is customer centric and being the number one mobility provider in our region. And then our partners in our distributors, they are also they truly believe what what the culture of Kia is doing these days and how we're working towards uh, changing the whole mindset of our company. But I think people is what is moving everything, and um, having them being compromised and believing of what we're doing. Uh, and being part of it. Something that we always do here in Kia is that yes, we receive our strategy. Our president will say this year, Victor, we're selling 142,000 cars. Um, and that's their end goal. But then every staff member not only knows their goal, but they know what they need to do to reinforce that goal, what they need to do to achieve that goal. So they have that empowerment. We talk about horizontal management. We're all working at the same level because everybody will participate, everybody will share their ideas, and everybody becomes owner and responsible of that end goal. And that's something that has helped us to continue to have that commitment from the staff. They feel that they know that everything that they bring day to day to the office is valuable to our end goal. That everybody is important in this whole process.
And let's build on that and perhaps now start to tap into your passion. So tell me a little bit about sort of how you are enabling the change through training, learning, and development of your people.
Yeah. So when we started everything, of course, at the beginning you do this mass uh, sharing of information in our region, and then we have our videos and different web-based programs. So we have very strong platform, one a global platform that comes from Korea, and regionally we have developed our own mobile platform that we truly believe that today's day um, education has changed a lot. Meaning, all the material that we get from our corporate office is more classroom based material where you just sit down and go through different slides and activities and so on. But we believe that with the introduction of YouTube first, nowadays TikTok and Instagram, it had completely changed the way people learn or look for information. So after we did this mass introduction of the whole change in our culture, what we're doing nowadays is we're moving from OEM certification or understanding of like a general information on everybody, and we're using different tools like training need analysis, to understand each of the individuals. So now with all this AI and information that we're able to pull and analyze very easy and fast, I can understand not only what the region or the dealer uh, as a whole understand, but I can see, okay, Justin, where he needs support, or Pedrito or Juan, they need support, each individual. So then maybe I have a communication training and my customer, because CX is feeding back what the customer is saying about Justin. And the customer say, well, Justin, he presents very well the car, but he doesn't know much about the ADAS system or the safety system. Or maybe Pedro, he knows a lot about ADAS system, but I cannot understand what he's saying to me. So then we can tell, okay, Justin, this is a safety course that you should take so you can better understand the car. And then I just go directly for the information that this person needs. And same for the other guy. No, well, maybe you need a communication skills training. So we use our mobile platform to go directly to the person and try to understand. So we call this personalized training. Now, what we also have changed that we're trying to go away from this 3, 4, 5 days training, which we keep maintaining, especially for new product introduction. But the regular training, we do micro learnings, 5 minutes training or very short bits of information that just continue to reinforce the stuff. So that's one part of how we're doing our training on how we're trying to change the mindset. And then the second part that we're doing is we believe that the way we learn or the adults learn today is that you provide them information and they capture that information in their mind, but in order for them to retain or maintain, they need to apply, they need to implement. So we use the same theory of learn, forget, and then retract or retake from your mind. So we share some training material. It could be a micro learning, some theory. We let 1 or 2 weeks pass by, and then we send different activities or challenges for them where they need to apply whatever they listen or learn before, and that's help them to retain more information. And then finally is just making sure that we provide, and this is what the personalized training allows us to do, what they need to solve their current problem. We I strongly believe that an adult, when different from a child, when he learns, he wants to learn something that solves a problem for him right now, not something that is going to help me 2 weeks later. Right now, I need to sell this car, or right now, I need to fix this car. So provide me the information for that. So again, these bite-sized training material or microlearning that we use through our mobile platform allow us to provide that information quickly, so they can fix the car for the customer and have the mobility provided for that.
It's fascinating getting a really amazing kind of picture of your approach to learning today. I love the micro learning. I love the sort of the just in time aspect and the adaptive, personalized pieces. And I think it sounds exactly kind of the philosophy that sort of I as an employee, as a colleague of yours, would love to help me kind of progress. Tell me a little bit about sort of two things, really. One, you mentioned YouTube and TikTok. Tell me a little bit about the kind of the way that you've kind of adapted the use of media in the training and the learning. How you're thinking about that in the future in terms of AR, VR, and so forth. And you mentioned AI as well. How are you employing AI? When you're thinking about the future kind of learning kind of product that you want to offer. And then the last thing, there's three things. The last thing is thinking about sort of that longer term piece. So, I think you're absolutely right with, as an adult, I wanted to have that just in time kind of fulfillment of my need now. But, you've got people working with you who are ambitious, who are on a lifelong learning journey, as you have been on. How do you also kind of provide them with that sort of more longer term kind of opportunity to develop? So 3 questions. I'll help you if it's too many to ask. I apologize.
No, no, it's okay. Okay. So starting with the video, the media, the YouTube, and so on. Yeah, at the beginning, but one thing that we recognize here in our region, Latin America, no, we're emerging markets, we're developing markets, and at the beginning, we using our platform, we started to upload videos, and we got this feedback that the video were slow or they were not upload, and then we recognize that using YouTube technology, which is very well advanced, it was very easy for them. They would not having this lagging or anything. Okay, so then they start using YouTube to start sharing the information, and we use some part of the platform on YouTube. But when not only having us a tool that allows us to share with them, we continue to recognize, okay, people are not paying attention. The attention span is changing a lot because nowadays, the culture has changed. I have 5 children, and my children, when they need something, they want to learn something, they just go to YouTube or TikTok. 5 minutes, they learn and they move on. And this has continued to change in everybody. And unfortunately, nobody wants to read because they don't want to spend time reading. So we need to see how can we maximize on this tool. So yeah, we're using these platforms, YouTube or TikTok, to share among our network, uh, to so they get the right information at the right time. Now, in terms of AI, yeah, we use the tool AI to help us analyze quickly. No, and with AI, I can understand patterns and what is happening overall faster. And we get the data more quickly. But something that we want to develop, using nowadays the language element language manual models, with ChatGPT and so on, is how we create again a tool that if my technician is having doubt on how to fix something, he just can ask a regular question. Okay, how can I fix this? And the system goes to our shop manuals, which unfortunately they don't want to go there. They want something quick, and the chatbot can quickly reply back. Okay, these are the steps that you need to follow, and so on. Or same thing, my sales consultant, customer can ask a specific question of how this system works. And of course, sometimes it's so many systems that they don't remember. So just write it down quickly, and the system will, the AI will give you all the details and the videos and everything so you can explain properly to the customer. So this is how we're working towards development. You mentioned VR. Yes, we have VR, especially now with EV models. One of the main concern when we started was safety. How we start working with these cars with high voltage. When we do training, what can we do that we make sure that nobody gets electrocuted or die during our training programs? So VR allows us to that. Now with VR, we can have an environment where the technician can work with almost the same battery and the same systems safely, and then after that, just take that to the workshop. So VR is helping us for that. VR also is helping us when we one of the challenges when you do new product training is that you don't have the vehicle available at the moment because the cars are still on the way, or it's a brand new car, and sometimes distributors they're hesitant to use them as a training vehicle because they don't want to be ruined. So again, with VR or AR, augmented reality, we can use this platform to teach safely in a safe environment, but also making sure that nothing happened to the car. So we can provide all the information for them. Yeah, this is very important for us. Our objective in Kia is that we want to make sure that every staff for us recognize that they have a professional career with us. Okay, so yes, we have levels of certification, which is global certifications. So our headquarters in Korea can recognize where our staff are, but we work with our distributor to make sure that they continue to identify the key persons and make sure that they continue growing within. So yeah, the certified level will start showing you what's the overall products, what's the overall processes. But then as you continue growing, you will start learning about management skills or time management skills. And then the next step, okay, now we're going to start giving you leadership skills, going that you will recognize that there's a professional career within the brand. Um, so our training program is developed that when you start as a junior and if you stay with us